Hello my beautiful creatives and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chrissy B and I don't know what I'm at the moment. I am an artist who has not been arting for about 2 years. Life has happened and you know, as with all things, sometimes your art takes a back seat. Now, I have started for the first time the 100-day project. And what I'm doing is I am basically taking some flashcards. I was totally inspired by Robin Marie, and I apologize, but I can't remember her whole name right now. I'm just gonna be full disclosure, okay? I am very nervous about doing this. I haven't done this in a really long time. Putting myself on camera, even just my hands, is something that really kind of terrifies the bejesus out of me right now, and I don't know why. I've done this a lot of times. It's just been a really long time since I've done it, and I feel like a lot of changes have happened since last time I'm on camera. So I'm just gonna be totally honest and very vulnerable and letting you know that I am showing up at the table, which is what I have always encouraged you to do, is to just show up at the table and just let whatever happens happen. So the last 7 days I have been working on the 100-day project, and what I have endeavored to do is something that I was really 100% totally inspired by Robin Marie Smith. I think it was 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year, I don't know when it was, but she did a 100-day project, and she basically took flashcards and turned them into little art journal cards. Now, last year I bought these cards because of Robin Marie. I was so inspired by what she was doing. I thought, oh, I can do that. That's something that looks like fun. So I bought these cards and they've been sitting in my stash all year. And I literally have done almost no arting at all. I've done really nothing in my soul book. I did start a soul book this year, but it's almost completely empty. So you'll see that here shortly. But what I did decide to do is I thought I could commit to doing this size piece art one a day. And so this is day 1, day 2, day 3, and whatever message pops out while I'm doing this art, then I put it on there as my little thought for the day. Okay, so what I have been doing, this is my soul book for 2020, and it's pretty empty. I have some images that I want to put in the front that I have not put in the front. I did actually start this as a sketchbook, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's some really like sketchy things on here. I did some writing and I did some coloring, and I really intended to get back into the swing of things, and I was really struggling. So about 2 weeks ago, when I was getting ready, like mentally prepared to do my 100-day project, what I did was I went to my soul book and I just started like putting paint down and just kind of making a mess. And this actually took me about three sit downs, and I don't even know how to describe that. It took me about 3 sessions of sitting at my little art table and just playing and making a mess and trying to come up with something, and getting so frustrated with myself, and then like getting up, walking away. And on the 3rd one, I finally felt like the mojo kicked in and I did something that I kind of liked. And I just kind of said, okay, you're not gonna wipe the whole thing out. You're just gonna keep working with it. So that's kind of what I did. And this was in preparation for getting the creative cojones to do these cards, okay? And then what I did was, I thought what I would do is every morning, I wake up first thing in the morning and I try to get to the table to do my card for the day. And what I was doing is I was using my soul book as my underpapers, essentially. So I don't know if you could see this, but there are some marks, some square edging marks. You can see some of this color from this card and this card both made it onto here. Okay, so that's kind of what that was. And then I was like, okay, well that was kind of fun. Let's get a scraper out and do some, just add some more colors and see what becomes of it. And then I turned the page and did some more cards on here. And I don't know exactly which ones, but I know that I did a couple of cards on here. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. It takes me about a half an hour to do one of these cards if I stay focused. Like if I don't let myself get distracted by the dogs or my hubby or a show that's on or anything like that. It takes me about half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour to do one of these. And so that's kind of where I started. And then I just did a little bit more where I would just turn randomly into the book and I was just doing some scrapey of paint. I did some spray paint. And you can see my pages pretty much all got spray painted. Here's another page. You can see the rectangle of one of the, I'm not sure which one it was, but you can see the rectangle of the card there, and one side of the card's rounded. So here's my flash card, what those look like. Okay. And that's that. And so this process has given me permission to get back in here because I'm already like making a mess on the pages anyways. And so it's kind of like, I got stuck pages together. It kind of gave me like permission to get in here and make a mess. So I went through the process and, you know, did a couple of pages, did some white out on pages, so I'm kind of like ready. I masking taped a page. These are all like my ways of baby stepping myself back into my art practice again, because I haven't really had an art practice in a really, really long time. And in all honesty, I kind of lost my mojo. I love art journaling. I love it. It's something that really, it makes me happy. It calms me down. It helps me focus. It helps me think. You know, it helps me let my anxiety go. As I continue through this 100-day project journey, I will continue to do these cards one a day, and I will put them in here so they're eventually all standing up in here and I'll be able to see them all. Now, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them, but I'm really super excited about them, that they're even like, that there's something still inside of me that still has to come out. So I thought I would, if I can do 7 days of that, I can do one messy art journal page. So here was my first, okay, I started this page as one of my underpapers, and then I just kind of thought, well, okay, let's just play a little and just focus on just the playing. Now, for those of you who've watched my channel before, you know that my soul book is essentially just an inexpensive sketchbook. It's not a book that's made for wet media, and it kind of gives me permission to make a mess and experiment and play and explore and just like be super not worried about really the final outcome. But so I've got a lot of like really wrinkly pages, but something I'm learning this year about myself is that I'm really loving the feel of my soul books. This is my, how many years have I been doing this? I think this is my 7th year doing this. But I'm loving the sound of these papers that have had a lot of water on them, and they're kind of wrinkly and kind of, you know, I don't know, there's something very tactile about my soul book that I've never really noticed until this year. Kind of more sprays, me just playing with what I've got in my stash. Yeah, so I don't really have an actual plan. I just thought I would play and let you watch the playing process. Yeah. So as you can see, where are we at? We're in April right now, and my soul book is really, really, really empty. Sorry about that. My hubby came and asked me a question, of course, because that's how real life actually is. So like I was saying, I don't really have any kind of plan, and I'm probably not, you know, knowing me, I'm probably not going to sit and actually do a whole spread, because that's not usually how I create. But I have really missed you, and I mean, that's really the bottom line. I've really missed you. I've missed my daily, weekly art practice. I miss sharing that in the world. I feel like, I don't know, I feel really good when I do that. It makes me feel connected to you. It makes me feel connected to myself. It makes me feel connected to something greater than myself, which is really, really needed, especially now when life is crazy and, you know, you never know what's happening. And I'll probably just pop some music on, and I'm just going to art and play, and you'll see my process. I think for the most part, I'm gonna be kind of approaching my soul book in the same manner that I've been approaching my cards. Just very loosey-goosey, which if you've ever watched me on my channel before, you know that's really my style anyways. I never really have a plan, but I do have what I consider to be a definite style, and it's kind of influenced by a lot of different artists. As you can see, that was sprayed on from right there. Just wanted to see what it would do. These cards have a bit of a gloss on the one side, so if I would have planned this well, you know, if I would have let my, okay, here's the situation, okay? Sometimes when I come to approach the art table and I haven't been here a really long time, I make every single excuse why I can't do it. And I decided the day that I started this, that there would be no excuses, I would just do it. And then that's fine. These have turned out nice. I like the way they've turned out. But if I would have actually been stopped to think about it, there's a glossy side and then a flat side, a matte side. And I am doing my art on the glossy side, but because of this weird curve in the card, see how it's like square on 3 corners and there's a weird curve in the card, I'm not letting myself flip the darn thing over. Why is that? I don't know. But I'm gonna keep doing it this way, and I'm having to deal with this bit of glossiness. So my spray, which I tested on this one just to see what would happen, it's still kind of wet and it's still kind of coming up. So I've just been kind of rubbing it and like get as much of that ink off as I can. But you know, first world problems. In the big scheme of things, that's a lot of nothing. I'm going to start by, I thought I was going to gesso my page, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to take a color and just start putting it down. Because again, I don't want to make any excuses. And I'm just going to pull one of my Handmade Modern, this is the Target line of acrylic paints. I have lots of different kinds of paints. I don't really consider anything too precious to use, but I just want to scoop some out and get some color down. Anyways, I'm not going to talk through this whole thing. I just want to say thank you so much. If you've missed me, I'm sorry. I'll be back. I don't know on what cadence I'll be back, but my goal is to be of service again. For those of you new to my channel, thank you for joining us. Really the only agenda that I have is that I inspire you to try something creative for yourself, whether that's an art journal or, you know, whatever creative something that you want to do. I hope to inspire you to get out of your own way and do that. Now I say that not having done it for 2 years, but better late than never. Better never late, my dad used to say. So anyways, I'll put some music on and I'm just gonna play. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so as you know, I'm very ADD when it comes to all things art journaling, art supplies. So I'm gonna leave this for now, and I will come back to another day. It's definitely not finished, but I don't know. And I'm kind of liking that one the way it is right now, even though there's this weird void that happened right there. That's fine. Just pick another random space. Just a page that's kind of stuck together. Just kind of peel that apart. Let's see, there, we'll work right there. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, I've got these papers sitting next to me, some random bits of whatevers. I spent some time in my week preparing to start my 100-day cards. I spent a little bit of time playing, not terribly long, maybe an hour, playing at my jelly plate. So I've got some papers to play with. Some I really, really like, some are not, they're like, whatever, they're fine. Not terribly glorious. Full disclosure, one of my cards was the background. The background was completely 100%. I think it was that one. I think that this started as the background of that, and then I just added paints and texture and stuff over the top of it. So I think I'll continue to do that sometimes. That's a good thing when I'm feeling stuck or I'm feeling like I don't know what to do. So I don't know. That's very cool. I like that one. just like all the grunginess. Then it gets, so this one's awesome, and this one's kind of like, okay, and then it goes kind of crazy, and then I'm like, And then there's a bunch that I used just rolling my brayer off on it. There's that one, that one, and that too. And apparently I'm into brights today, so I'm gonna use those 3 sheets of paper. And let's put all this mess off to the side so I don't distract too much. You can stay there. Let me clean that off a little better. I'm that person. I always have to have my stuff cleaned really well. Anyways, whatever, I digress. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tear these raw edges off. Not raw, I meant the crisp edges off. Some I'm gonna pull forward, some I'll pull backwards. This is just regular printer paper. There's literally nothing special about this paper at all. Okay. I just like all the different colors. Okay. You pull the paper backwards and forwards, you'll get some with that white raw edge, like that, you see what I'm saying? And some without. Like so. So that's one. I'm gonna do that with all 3 of these. One more side. Okay, got quite a little mess going over here. Let's see, do one more. Okay, so I think like this kind of little transition that's happening. Get all of this mess out of my way. Whew. Okay, so now let's get some, let's see what I want to do. I kind of feel like there's a natural transition between the light pink, the dark pink, the purple to the blue. And then there's kind of a bluey green. They look like they've almost been ripped apart from each other. And then there's like a faded away. So I think that's the look I'm gonna go for. I'm pulling some, oh my goodness, I hope that you were able to see that. I apologize. I am messing with my camera setup because it's such a weird layout right now. I don't really like these foam brushes, especially these long ones. They're just really floppy. I tried some bananas and I realized I totally did this in the wrong order. I was gonna do it from pink to purple to blue to green and I didn't. So we're just gonna go with it. No excuses. This is no excuse art journaling. So now what? I'm using a Zoe container for my water, and I'm going to use a lid for my palette. So I'm going to put some gesso down, some Liquitex gesso, my faves. A different, yeah. Okay. Kind of knock it all back a little bit.